Ready, Pop?
Ready, babe.
Sure, mine's done.
I'm Pops.
Get my phone and everything off here. Will somebody call me?
Hello, thank you for joining us this evening.
Hey, Jay, I did want to ask you, did you want that video to be a part of the P2C?
It can be, yeah.
You know what P2C is?
He doesn't.
Welcome back to the podcast. I am Mr. Mo.
And I'm Pops.
I'm Tiff.
Now I'm J-Mo.
Today, man, we got some heavy hitters on the couch. Some true heavy hitters. We have about three channels on right about now, which is amazing. Now, Pop, let's start with you, cause you even though you're older than us,
What you trying to say, man?
you still the rookie in this game. So far, how have you enjoyed yourself?
It's been most interesting.
Your mic closer, okay.
Am I on?
There you go.
You hear me?
Told you.
Okay.
Somebody's a rookie.
It's most.
Just,
I was supposed to be set up by
Josh.
somebody. So.
Yeah, the dude over there.
But anyway, yeah, it's been most interesting. It's a lot better than what I had anticipated, and I appreciate the opportunity.
No, the opportunity is definitely appreciated by us, because you could have been anywhere in the world with the knowledge that you have. How long you've been here for a long time. So I know you picked up some things along the way. I think earlier we was having a conversation. You said, I've been doing this for 40 years. And I
40
was like,
plus.
40 plus. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That
Cole, you cooking. Get your food. Sorry, I smell it. I'm sorry.
for a long time. And,
Yes.
Oh my God.
we're never going to get done.
This is life.
This is life.
This is
This is
It's
life.
the
Things
podcast
happen.
life. Look, y'all think y'all be wanting to do See, look at that. And now we got to pause. And I don't want to cut the video because, hey, we're already in the middle of it. So why cut? You just have to sit here and watch us chit chat. Why don't you? What's on your mind? Let me hear what you got to say.
Come on, tell us now.
That's it. Okay.
I hear you.
That's crazy.
That's interesting.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. That's a good part.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you for freely sharing.
And we appreciate you
Yeah.
using your vulnerability to share with us.
Thank you so much.
All right. See?
Gonna be all right.
Yeah, you're going to be all right. God's got you.
Yeah.
I feel this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of our men who are out there listening, we need you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We need you in ways that you would not believe. You're the one God is expecting to do some things. You got to lead the way, man. Almost broke out in a song.
What is that? Go ahead. What you
No,
doing?
no.
Bring out the old spiritual.
That is not my call.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're back. So, golly.
We thought.
She's fine.
I'm glad you're good.
All right. Let's get into some stuff. We have two newcomers to the. Well, not two newcomers. They've never seen this much firepower in one episode. So I'm looking forward to this being a very, 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 very fantastic episode.
Most interesting.
You know what I'm saying? So, my beautiful wife, it feels so weird you sitting, way over there. I feel like color purple, you know what I'm saying? Like, you in me forever. From the More and Tiff podcast, she's been on the Over podcast before. How are you feeling today?
Oh my goodness.
She's so beautiful.
Oh man.
Got a crush on her.
Okay, y'all need to get a room.
We got one.
We got one.
Well, they can
Got a
go.
whole house.
Got this pie. And we'll see you after this.
So sad. I am actually doing well. It's cold outside. Cold enough. I feel like I talked about those people with the snow boots all the time, with the fur in them. And I was like, I don't want those because my feet sweat. And that might be TMI. And so now I'm like, I really wish I would have got me some because my feet are freezing.
Now I feel bad because I walked in Sam's Club and I seen this girl and she had like fur all around. Like it was like real fur.
Yeah.
Like she just had a
Like
lion's
feet.
mane on her feet.
She's like Chewbacca's feet.
Yeah, that. And I was just like, man, I should get my wife that. But then I thought about it. If it rained, that's gonna look very ugly. So I chose not to.
Yeah.
Because
I was thinking more like the UGG ones, like the ones I could just slip my foot in because I don't like nothing too high up. But I was thinking more like those, and I talk about them. But then I was like, I don't need those, but I need them this week, only this week. I don't need them, to be honest, because it's gonna go back to like 60 something.
See, I'm that husband that'll get them.
Bless
So
your heart.
I know. Hey,
Bless your heart.
wherever she put it, I gotta jump up and get it. Snap that thing off the backboard.
I can't. But no, it's been a good day.
Okay.
Enjoying being off. I love being off with you on Mondays.
Oh, it's such a beautiful thing.
That makes me happy.
Me too.
Yeah.
This really sounds like a two-person thing.
Oh,
going on
brother.
here now.
Come on, what's going on here?
Wait a minute now.
Come on, you had your time.
And also too, because I see, what the people don't see is I do sit off on the side.
She does.
And
be
so
back and forth.
Yeah,
and
be back
with
and
the
forth,
kids
going back and forth, and so helping, watching, actually being able to now engage.
Yeah.
You are appreciated.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you, pops.
Yeah.
So it's with the head honchos over here.
We trying over here. And then we got the young one, the oldest young one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How you feel being out of your tunnel? Out of your I got a joke for everybody, don't I? I'm on the road. How you feel,
He got no
man?
man cave, you got a boy.
You know what I'm saying? Bow. How you feel, man? Just starting a new channel, just coming back up from how long you been out? That long.
Ooh, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
A long time.
You been out the game for a while, right?
Yeah, it's been. I started in
2 years.
Yeah, just about 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
So, how you feel getting back out there? You nervous? You
I'm mainly excited. I think it's really good to be back. I already have tons of ideas, and they're constantly coming to me for content ideas, and already looking to branch off into the next game that I was talking about. And so, really, I'm really excited. That's what I am. It's a combination of like nervous and excited because I'm like, ooh, I want to keep continuing and keep staying disciplined and keep being consistent. I'm not dropping the ball on this one, and I'm just gonna. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this this new this new one. So
Okay, like I mean, I feel like if you don't do it for yourself, do it for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be somebody watching. That's why we do what we do.
Right.
For the guy in the orange shirt that is watching,
And the guy with the blue shirt, and then that girl right there with that red shirt on too.
if you put in the chat that you have an orange shirt on as you're watching this, I'm gonna further your ministry. We're gonna bless your ministry. I guarantee you. If you have on, I'm about to start.
Go ahead.
Doing nothing. Here's what
Doing nothing.
But definitely you have an orange shirt on, put it. I have a now don't lie now.
That part.
yeah.
How
You
about
have
this? DM us
Yeah.
with you in your orange shirt.
Orange is my favorite color.
See, that's why. But today's topic, I've been really sitting on this. I've been honing in on this. I want to talk about the decline of people in the church. Why? And where have we lost them? Now, these are different sections that we're going to deal with. Now, me and you are going to deal with why is it a rapid decline of men in the church? You're going to deal with there are women in the church, but in the same breath and in the same thing, it's a lot of women scared to go to church.
Mm.
And from your generation, where y'all are basically like virtual everything group virtual. You guys are like y'all don't mind, being at home, having church. Y'all don't mind it. Y'all cool with it. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Like if we go to church, we go to church. We don't. Hey, I'll just turn it on and watch it.
Right.
Which I think COVID kind of sped that process up. But I want to definitely deal with why people are absent from the church. We can start with the old guy. I mean, not old guy.
Rude.
I'm a seasoned teenager.
Seasoned teenager. Wow.
Yeah.
That's new.
Season.
But I want to deal with it because I like to start with you because you have the wisdom. You've seen a lot, done a lot, been up and down the coast. And you've seen generation from generation to generation to generation. Mm-hmm. And where did you see the change? Where did you see the flip?
I think, well, first of all, let me just say, I think it's a number of variables that has caused the decline. I don't think it's one specific thing.
Yeah, definitely.
That has done that, but I think it has been a variety of things over time that has caused that. And I think one being, as you stated, was the pandemic when it came. Mm-hmm. Some people just didn't return for whatever reason. And I think nowadays, even early on, it always been more women
definitely
involved than men. And I'm not sure it, in my mind, I'm thinking that, we didn't have a lot of women pastors back then. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it may have been more women who cling to that because it was a male. And then you had some males who was there because, a lot of times when you have a pastor, a lot of times people have difficulties following the direction of the pastor.
Yeah.
People don't want to be told what they need to do. Mm-hmm. But if you commit yourself to some organization and you say that you're a part of it, then you should act as if you're a part of it.
Yeah.
You should actually be a part of that and do whatever it takes to be a part of that and to make it work. I think a lot of times that, because of war and those kinds of things, men have been taken away.
Yeah.
Because of war, they have to go to the war. It's required for males to register. It's a law.
Wow.
Right.
You got to register once you get a certain age. Then they kind of cut out the draft, but a lot of people now are volunteering because, especially younger people now, they seem to think that's the way out.
And do.
Right.
I just don't think that's the answer for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think you got to look at how it has affected a lot of people mentally who go to the war, because you go through a whole lot.
I heard.
And if you ever needed God, you needed God then. In those war zones. And I think a lot of people probably have accepted Christ during those times. But it seems like when they come back, I don't know, people got this concept that I can just do church at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for one, you don't have to give an offering.
Yeah.
That's facts.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's definitely a choice.
Although there are ways to do it virtually.
Right.
But I can listen to the pastor. Then if I get tired of listening to them or don't like what they're saying, I can turn them off.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you're sitting there.
Right.
And there's not many folks who would just get up and walk out for no reason at all. So I'm not real sure what the reason is. I just know that even with the church, I think with all areas, I think there's a lack of men.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Men just don't always take the responsibility that they need to take, even for raising their children. Whether you get along with the mother or not, I think you really should try to be in your child's life.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
And I think that's why we got a lot of situations going on, because you don't have that father figure there. And it may not always be the biological father. It may be a stepfather from a blended family. If that person is leading correctly, then I don't see no reason why they shouldn't be doing that with the kids.
Right.
You shouldn't mind that happening. If you're not going to do it, somebody got to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I'm not real sure what the reason is that there's a lack. That's an interesting topic, though.
I mean, because I'll come back to me. I said because I have a whole, I would say, a thing about it, but from a woman's viewpoint, because my favorite thing is perception is key. I think it's about how we see it, how we view it. So, coming from a woman's point of view.
I think a lot of times when it comes to women being in the church, I know one of the things that, like when you first said it, I remember when I was coming up in the church that I was a member of, I didn't like some of the, I'm going to call it the slick stuff that the pastor was saying. In passing sometimes, I was very uncomfortable with the pastor trying to hook me up with his son. So it's like a lot of passing, things like that. And I know for me, it kind of turned my nose, but it was one of those things where my mom said, hey, you gotta go. You don't have an option not to go. So I put up with that. And then sitting back also and watching just some of the stuff that my mom went through with a deacon in the church and how he handled her. And when she did go to the pastor, how that wasn't handled at all. And it was kind of like it was kind of like that gave me like I don't know. So for that particular church, and then just pastors in general, because I didn't grow up with my father, so seeing a person of authority acting in that manner, that just gave me more of a reason to say, yeah, I don't trust that. And because there, like you said, like Pop said, there weren't a lot of women pastors like we see now, so it was really just the push of when I met mom and dad and started going to it was, you could see the genuineness of dad, and then two, you can see the tandem movement between mom and dad, so you knew, okay, that was some good stuff that was going on in the process. And that's one of the reasons. And then another that I experienced with us, we had, I got pregnant out of wedlock. We weren't married when I got pregnant. Oh my gosh. I will never forget, we were still brand new within the church. And I remember somebody said, "Oh no, not you too. Don't tell me you too." And that you too then took me into a moment of shame. And so as a young lady coming in, it was like, okay, I like this church. I'm enjoying what I'm getting. I'm getting something that's beneficial. But I can see where if I wasn't like fully in the right place, I can see where that would just completely shift. Because that was where you and I had already decided, like, this is what we are doing. This is where we are going to be. But little moments like that, we have to be very mindful of what we say. Because in this day and age, unfortunately, because of a lack of knowledge, there are a lot of young ladies getting married out of wedlock. So, and they feel that judgmental part coming down on them in the church. And so sometimes that can turn you away. And then too, like with, people say church hurt. I've never experienced that, and I don't know what that typically means, because I didn't hear that until I got under our current ministry. And I'm like, church hurt, what is that? But I do know what it feels like when people wrong you. And so I don't look at it as the church in general, but a lot of times we do have to be very mindful at how we come to women, because sometimes I know in my state I was very vulnerable at that time. So if young women or women in general are coming and they have, they're not married, they're single moms, we have to do better as a church with nurturing them and letting them know, like, hey, yes, you did X, Y, and Z, but there's a way to fix it. And that was one thing that mom taught me as a young lady, like, hey, y'all didn't do it right, but hey, if this is what y'all are wanting, if marriage is what your intent was, you can still go back and you can fix that. And so that's the thing I think we have to really start honing in early on and teaching our young girls about, preservation of self and having self-worth, so then they don't feel like, oh, well, if I do this, I'm gonna automatically be judged.
I love the way you put that so elegantly. Besides you being so gorgeous and
what? Shut us all down. We gonna shut down.
Here we go with this again.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
But younger generation, y'all don't mind physical interaction. You all don't mind doing everything virtual, doing everything, like anything that you're not physically, together. Like, we're physically in this building having this wonderful podcast. But for y'all don't mind the distant relationships. Y'all rather y'all prefer long distance,
right,
than to actually phically deal with the person right then and there. So
you're okay with
let's talk about that as far as from what you hear, because I know young people talk a lot.
You're not wrong on that. I'm very open about my faith, especially online, because I want people to. I'm not going to denounce God or deny that I'm a believer. But when it comes to just younger believers who want to hear the word of God, they do turn more to like podcasts. They do turn more to online services. Like in this group that I'm in, they like to have Bible study like every Sunday at 5 at 5, and they'll a lot of them would rather do that. That's like their church for them.
Gotcha.
Like if they can find a way to be online, then they will be online, and they like to do their especially like little things like their devotionals, or even just reading the word. Like a lot of people, they don't actually have they have their physical Bible, but they mainly use like the electronics and apps and stuff like that. So and a lot of and just to go to a little bit more talking about like the younger generation, is that a lot of them, just by what I've heard, they like grew up in church, but they weren't like it was like nothing to them. Like it was something of like they were forced to go. So it was like
had no choice.
Yeah,
right, yeah,
had no choice. And so the idea of like, I know someone right now, they say that they're a believer but don't believe in the Bible. Grew up in church, all that stuff, but somewhere along the line that has gotten mixed up, and that has gotten twisted up, which that is another downside to being for a younger generation of being virtual, because they can find things, and they ask a lot of questions, because they do ask a lot of questions like I wonder. And there's a lot of discussions on certain things about the Bible, which that's why I love how it's so how the Bible is so clear, how it's so just clear about what its standards are, and what it actually says, because they can find something on YouTube of someone else talking about something else, and they're like, that sounds weird, and then they'll ask like their friends or anything like that, or put it in a group, and they'll say, hey, what do you guys think about this? And then they'll take it to the Bible. And so a lot of them do prefer that. I do know some people who do both. They'll do church, and then right after that they'll get even more by discussing what they heard at their church service with their friends. And I know some people who they'll just be in those groups just to fellowship, and just to have something outside of in person, because they'll have their regular church service, and then they'll go out with their friends that they have at church, and then whenever they're on their free time, they'll be in the group and they'll fellowship with them, just be there, just talk about God, and just be around other believers, because I feel like that's what a lot of, especially younger believers, they want to be around other younger believers,
but they're just not trying to.
They're not trying to be in physical
in a brick and mortar type setting.
Which is I think is different. Because I think this life is built off relationships. Even relationship with Jesus. Like it's built solely off of getting to know a person. When you get to know a person, you spend time. You get to know their wants, what they don't like, pet peeves, different other stuff like that. But over time, physical, I've learned, is even from just me and my wife, the difference between when we were just talking on the phone to when we were in each other's physical presence. It's different. And I think to accept just, like, I don't mind talking to you online,
Right.
and then hanging up and finding fulfillment
In that. Right.
It's like, where at what point do we, especially as believers, because we need other believers
Right.
in that connection. That's why I don't
And
mind.
the Bible even say,
Come on now.
don't forsake yourself
Right.
assembling together, because that's where you get your strength from.
Right.
You know, yeah, it's okay to do that on occasion, but you can't do that forever.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta connect with people. There's something about the presence
It is.
of folks.
And then the other part of that too, Pops, is that they will probably say or rebuttal, well, that is, we are connecting because we're connecting, but who's your leader and all of that? Like that's kind of where my mind
that's
went,
my concern too when he said about Bible study.
Yeah.
So
leading?
who's monitoring that?
right?
You know, kind
To
of
make
thing.
sure,
So
because they have. I mean, it's obvious
because you don't want to get veered off to the wrong way, and then you starting a whole nother little something going on.
Right.
Which has happened.
right.
It happens all the time, you
Yeah.
know. And when they were talking, I was thinking about some of the other reasons, not just for men, but I think even for women and young people. People join a church, but a lot of times they're not trained.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we're not taught. You know, preaching is not enough. You know, Bible study is not enough. We got to be taught how to be a Christian.
Right.
What is our responsibility?
And then what
You
is
know,
it
what are
look
we
like?
supposed to be doing to help uplift the church? And just like we getting ready to do some training, you know. So I think that's important that we be able to do that, because if you just come in and you join and you just follow along with what somebody else done and you look like a good young man, we're going to make you a deacon.
Wow.
When you don't even understand what's all that's
right.
about.
What it looks like.
What's
how-
the responsibility of
I
that?
don't know how to spell deacon.
Yeah. So let's teach them how to spell it.
Let's
Start off with that, you know.
Yeah, because you just got to have some kind of accountability. And a lot of adults get caught up in this thing. I want to meet at a house.
Right.
We don't have Bible study. You know,
I think to
but you don't have nobody monitoring that.
Right. And I think
to
that's
cut
what
the
it's
Bible
about.
out within itself, to me, is a scary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where, and then too, Pops, as I was listening when you were just talking about, like, really don't know men, could that be just what they were, like, what men were taught when their parent, like what came down generational. So if a man wasn't required to go to church, or like their parents didn't make them go to church, they wouldn't know a know-how. So whether they're going on their own or whether they're trying to lead their family, if they didn't have the know-how, nobody going to church.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a pretty good idea why men are not involved in church like that. But I mean, it's gonna step on some toes, though.
Please share.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What-
then,
yeah, what are
let me
your-
go
yeah.
ahead and put on the shack
Step
shoes.
on some toes.
It's amazing how men, and I keep saying this, I always say it all the time, the enemy is so crafty, and he uses some of the most simplest things, and he doesn't use anything that's real difficult, because he know we're not difficult creatures like that. We fall for the most simplest things. It doesn't take that much to get us to fall for something.
Right.
All you got to do is understand what we like, what we into, and then he'll use that.
Right.
Okay, now, the lack of men in church has been a decline for a while, right? I don't remember my dad taking me to church, but I do remember my mom taking us to church.
Yeah. Always.
Right? Now, it's not a problem for men to go see a football game It's not a problem for men to be at a basketball game. It's not a problem for men to be on the couch
watching
running home full sprint to get in front of a television that will not even acknowledge you, or it hasn't even died for your sins.
Yeah.
So for me, the choice that men make is entertainment over salvation.
Yeah.
It's what you into. Wherever your heart is, that's where your treasure is.
Yeah.
If you run to get in front of and I say this all the time because, like I said, it's one of the illest tricks. Like if I told men, "Hey y'all, we about to come together and pray at the church," you would get a bunch of text messages talking about, "I got to work on Tuesday, so I ain't gonna be able to make it. My aunt passed away 3 weeks ago. I'm going through some stuff." But if I said,
we're gonna have a Super Bowl.
We're gonna have a Super Bowl party.
Everybody there.
Everybody's invited.
Yeah.
Everybody will put aside, "Aunt, I know you died. This is for you. I'm going for you because I know it's your favorite team."
Yeah.
But if I say, "Hey, I got front row tickets to the Atlanta," what? It doesn't even have to be their team. Or I'm going.
Yeah.
Because you got tickets.
It's just a mere fact I can get out.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But we don't put time and energy into the thing that is feeding us spiritually. We love the thing that feeds our flesh. We're into that thing.
Maybe. Maybe we are fearful of things that we don't understand.
It's my season. This my season. Please believe it. This my season. This my season. This my season. Please believe it. This my season. This my season. Yeah. Please believe it. This my season. Hey, this my season. Yeah. This my season. Please believe it. Hey, had to find a way through the storm. They been hitting on me way.